What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're here for another review as Smackdown just finished. WrestleMania weekend wraps up, and what a hell of a WrestleMania weekend. I give the whole weekend probably a 9 out of 10. It was phenomenal, and that's just because of some nitpicks here and there. But I digress. Let's get right into the Smackdown. We got the GOAT, Mr. 17 himself, the greatest of all time. John Cena makes his way to the ring as only he can. Dark Titantron, dark graphics, with only his name written in white. That needs to be his brand new t-shirt. Just a black t-shirt with John Cena across. We get nothing, and I'm fine with it. He's the GOAT. If he says we get nothing, then you better be happy with nothing. John Cena makes his way to the ring, tells the announcer that his job was pretty much garbage. He needs to announce John Cena a little bit better than that. I mean, this is a guy who just won his 17th championship. The announcer redoes his job the proper way this time. John Cena grabs the mic, and before he even gets a word out, he's interrupted by Randall Keith Orton. Randy Orton makes his way to the ring, and I kind of got excited, man. This is a rivalry we've seen time and time again, and just to have grown and watch these guys have grown, and now it's like we're adults paying bills and stuff like that, and we get John Cena versus Randy Orton for the last time. Phenomenal. Randy Orton basically cuts a promo and says, you know what, John? You're missing something in your life, and what you're missing is pretty much kids. You need to become a father. It worked for me. It'll work for you. John Cena just looks absolutely disgusting at that idea. He starts to talk, and he says, do you want to know why I wasn't a father? Because for 25 years, I've been parenting brats like this, like that. He points to the audience. Right on cue, I believe it was a 6-year-old gave John Cena the middle finger, and John Cena goes, oh, wonderful, wonderful. That's basically what he's talking about. Randy Orton's not really feeling this. He says something along the lines of, you've gone soft, and what the hell happened to you? This isn't you. You say you're the last real champion. Well, show me what you can do right here, right now. You put that championship on the line, and we'll see what's what. John Cena goes, you know what? The match should happen, but not here. Backlash, the upcoming pay-per-view, is in your neck of the woods, St. Louis, Missouri. Let's do it there. I need Randy Orton at 100%. You need to be 100% to beat me. John Cena goes, you know what? This is the closest you will ever get to this WWE championship. He throws Randy Orton the championship. Randy Orton catches it. And then Cena just starts to stomp the hell out of Randy Orton. Randy Orton gets the better of him and eventually hits John Cena with an RKO. Now, this is the second time Randy Orton has left John Cena laying in the middle of the ring with an RKO. It kind of reminds me of the build-up to the John Cena-Cody Rhodes WrestleMania match, and we all saw how that ends, so Randy Orton's on a slippery slope right now. Next up, we get our first match of the night. It's the debut of Fraxium versus Los Garza, and Fraxium started this match at a breakneck speed. They were going at 100 miles per hour. They were diving over the ropes. These guys looked like they just, like they were on something. These guys, it almost reminded me of when you play the 2K video games and you turn the stamina off. These guys were just hitting the moves and running at 100 miles per hour. Axiom hits a Spanish fly. You get Fraxium. He hits a Phoenix Splash, and then they win their debut match, 1, 2, 3. A bit of final thoughts. Fraxium looks amazing, but I'm kind of concerned for Los Garza. You have now Fraxium, you have Penta, you have Rey Fenix. It seems like there's a lot of rising luchadors, and these guys might get stuck in the shuffle or lost in the shuffle if they don't really put something together. Again, they put on one hell of a match. They just need something to sink their teeth into. After that, we got Tiffany Stratton. She enters the ring, and she basically gives Charlotte Flair her credit. She says, you know what? I went to WrestleMania, and even during the match, I was a little bit nervous, but I'm here champion. We see the results. Charlotte Flair took more out of me than I thought. But at the end of the day, it's still Tiffy time. And to my surprise, she was interrupted by Jade Cargill. I was like, what's going on here? And Jade basically says that just because you beat Charlotte doesn't mean you've beaten the best. I'm here right now. Let's see what you can do one-on-one. And shockingly, the match happens. So it's a nice showcase for both women. Tiffany Stratton does her flippy dippy stuff. She gets her cartwheels in. But there was a time where she went to hit one of her cartwheel signature moves. Jade Cargill picks her right out of the air and hits her with a powerbomb. Jade Cargill then went for a superplex. She hit Tiffany Stratton with the superplex. Both women kind of back up. They're both a little bit injured. And Naomi runs down to the ring. Actually, there was a part in this match where right after the superplex, the screen kind of faded to black a little bit. I thought somebody was running interference or something. I don't know what exactly happened. Maybe it was a wardrobe malfunction. But thank God, I didn't have a seizure or I'm not epileptic or something. I believe that's the word. But I wasn't affected because it was flashing pretty bad. Anyway, Naomi runs into the ring to attack Jade Cargill. And as much as I love Naomi, as much as I love this new heel character, Naomi just threw some of the worst punches I have ever seen. I was almost wondering if Shane McMahon was her teacher. They just looked ridiculous. Jade gets her ass beat by Naomi. Naomi tosses Jade out of the ring. Naomi's taunting. She's doing her thing. Tiffany Stratton gets into the ring. This is where I thought Charlotte would have interfered, but again, another shocker. Nia Jax. If you remember, it was Nia Jax that Tiffany Stratton cashed in her Money in the Bank to become champion. So I guess Nia Jax didn't forget. I honestly thought Charlotte would have interfered. Charlotte and Naomi, I thought both of them would have interfered and maybe it would have turned into a tag team match. But no, it was Nia Jax. Nia Jax left Tiffany Stratton laid out. And on to the next segment. So we get Fatu, the new US champion, and we get Solo Sikoa accompanying him to the ring. They both get inside of the ring, and you know how it goes. Solo's basically trying to take credit for everything. He said the Bloodline didn't want Fatu in the ring. They didn't want him in the WWE, and Solo took a chance. Solo's basically the reason that Fatu is the United States champion because he's the one who took a chance on him, and nobody else wanted to do it. And Solo this and Solo that, and Fatu just grabbed the mic from him and said, "Yo, you had it, I mean? I told you I was going to do this with you or without you." And the fans were cheering Fatu like he just brought a gold to the country or something in the Olympics. Fatu is really over. This guy's going to be a mega star. So he's taking the mic. He's talking now. He's saying everybody better watch themselves because he's running things now. He's now the big man on campus. LA Knight interferes. So LA Knight comes down to the ring. He says, "You know what, Fatu, you gave me one hell of a fight. Maybe even overestimated him a little bit." And so he basically wants his United States Championship rematch. He gets into the ring, and then Drew McIntyre comes out. Drew says, "You know what? I see John Cena. I see how he's moving. This guy's moving like a little punk right now, so I don't even want him. I want the biggest and baddest champion in the WWE, and that is you, Jacob Fatu." He turns his sights to LA Knight, and then Drew McIntyre says, "Hey, you want to laugh? It's always a joke with you. The only thing that's a joke about you is your last United States Championship run." And I knew exactly where this was going, and almost on cue, LA Knight fires right back. He goes, "Oh, you want to talk about championship runs? I would mention your last one, but we can't even remember it." And I assume that's when he was talking about when he won the championship at last year's WrestleMania, but CM Punk interfered, and that's when Damian Priest cashed in. I'm almost certain that's what he's talking about. Essentially, we get the GM. He goes down to the ring, and he makes a United States #1 contenders match for later on. It will be Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight. Again, the winner faces Jacob Fatu. Now we get Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green for the United States Championship match. Alba Fire and Piper Niven essentially get ejected mid-match because they were caught trying to run interference. And then Zelina Vega hits Chelsea Green with the Code Red finishing move. 1, 2, 3. Zelina, I love you. I'm happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But who did Chelsea Green piss off? You remember the 2 weeks going into the Smackdown, she lost via countout, then she lost via clean pin. You don't have her on night 1 or night 2 of WrestleMania, and now she loses her championship more or less clean in the middle of the ring? Chelsea Green is one of the hottest acts on SmackDown. What happened? What happened? Good Lord. We get The Miz in the ring next, and he's basically saying he's pissed off because he's been here for more than 15 years. He's not happy with his spot in the company. He didn't have a match on the card. Kevin Owens got injured to face Randy Orton, and they get Joe Hendry, basically an internet meme, to substitute for Kevin Owens. You get Rey Mysterio getting injured, and you get Rey Fenix as a replacement. Miz says Rey Fenix has been here for a cup of coffee, and he's basically, I don't want to say whining, because that would mean that, to me, that means the statements aren't true. The Miz has a valid case, and that's when I love heels. When they're speaking, they're talking their stuff, and you can also be like, you know what? That's true. Why didn't they go to Miz? Why didn't they see what a former champion can do at WrestleMania? He made a great point. He says, me, The Miz, I beat John Cena in a WrestleMania title match. That's something not even Cody Rhodes could have done. And you guys picked 2 other people to fill a spot at WrestleMania. He was upset, but he's talking. He ends it. He's The Miz and he's awesome. But before he finishes the awesome, lights go out. We get a returning Aleister Black. Aleister Black goes to the ring. There's not too much talking. He hits one of the most devastating kicks ever, the Black Mass. He drops Miz on his ass. Next segment. We get Bianca Belair backstage, and we actually find out she broke a couple of fingers during her WrestleMania match. She said that's not the result she wanted, obviously talking about her losing, but not Chelsea Green, she should have been on the card, man. Can you tell I'm choked up? Bianca, Io, and Rhea teared the house down. I actually saw earlier, if you're into this thing, that Dave Meltzer awarded this match 5 out of 5 stars, and this is the first WWE women's match to attain 5 stars. So good for them. Rest in peace. She only broke a couple fingers. Get well soon, Bianca. We will see you back shortly. Now we get Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight, the number 1 contenders match. This was a nice, hard-hitting match. It was a nice change of pace from the earlier matches that we saw. LA Knight goes to get back into the ring, and basically Solo hits him with a spike. Drew McIntyre goes to take advantage of this because he doesn't care. He just wants to be number one contender. So he backs up into the ropes. He goes for his Claymore. He does his countdown. 3, 2, 1. Damian Priest drags him out of the ring. He's beating him down. Of course, the ref sees this. He calls for a disqualification, and I'm not sure. I mean, technically, Drew should have won, but I don't know if that was the official ruling. Anyway, Drew's getting his ass beat. He gets chokeslammed through a table. As Damian Priest walks around the ring to leave, LA Knight's like, they're just exchanging some words. He's like, what the hell did you do that for? Yada, yada, yada. Jacob Fatu flies over the ropes. He takes out both men. He's beating LA's ass. He's beating Damian's ass. He brings them both into the ring. He hits that beautiful hop-up moonsault. I don't know if it has an official name, but he has a beautiful hop-up moonsault. He gives it to both of them. He's doing his thing. He's remaining WWE United States champion. He raises his belt. All is well. I kind of do wish Drew McIntyre just won this match clean, just because of the dynamic of 2 heels. I don't even know if you would consider Jacob Fatu a heel, just because of the crowd reactions. So he's kind of like a tweener, or more of a face, if anything. But I feel like that would be a super hard-hitting match. I don't know where they're going to go now. I don't know if they're just going to triple threat it. Maybe they put Damian Priest in the mix and do a fatal 4-way. We see where they go. But it would have been nice to see Damian Priest just pick up a clean win. And after this, we get the Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns and DIY. Now, all 6 of these guys went out there and performed like their jobs were on the line. Motor City Machine Guns hit Dawkins with a steel chair as he was hanging upside down on the ropes in the Tree of Woe position. If you know, you know. And I swear to God, Angelo Dawkins he stayed upside down for about 3 minutes. I don't know how he did it, how the blood didn't all rush to his head. He actually got hit with a ladder while still upside down after that. These guys were going through it, man. Tez clears the ring post and basically knocks down 3 guys, including his homie Dawkins. How he cleared the ring post while running at that, you gotta see it. You gotta see it. Tez climbs the ropes. He gets hit with a twisting flatliner off of the ladder, almost damn near gets put through the ring. You have Shelly with a chair wrapped around his neck. And Tommaso Ciampa hit the chair, and I don't know how they did this or how they planned this, but the chair, it looked like something out of Looney Tunes. The chair spun around his head like 4 or 5 times, and I don't know how they thought about this. There was a time where I believe it was Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, and they set the chairs up to where the flat parts were facing each other, and they were going to put Dawkins through it. But Johnny Gargano had the bright idea to turn the chairs so that the top of the chairs were back to back to each other. So he was going to throw him through that. Thank God Montez Ford jumped in and helped his boy, because that would have been it for Dawkins. Montez Ford, he gets involved like I just mentioned. He hits a move on Johnny Gargano to the top of the chairs. That just looked devastating, man. I don't know what the hell was going on. You get like 3 or 4 people getting put through tables. You get ladders being used. At one point, Tez got put through a ladder itself. Montez Ford was outside of the ring. He grabbed one of the fans' prosthetic legs and used it as a weapon. I just haven't seen shit like this before on TV. Like, I've always watched WWE all my life. Maybe things like this have happened in backyard wrestlings or other indie promos. I've never seen nothing like this. I actually have here that this was like watching a game of Here Comes the Pain, or even Def Jam Fight for New York. You had tables being broken, you had ladders being broken, you had chairs spinning around guys' head, you had fan-assisted weapons. I was like, what the hell is going on here? I'm gonna age myself, but when you had to use the multi-tap for PlayStation 2 and just get some of your homies over, and you guys just did one match for like 45 minutes, that's what this reminded me of. In final, we have Montez Ford climbing the ladder, retrieving the tag titles. It was a beautiful match. This should get 5 stars too. And my only regret is that this match wasn't on WrestleMania itself, because these guys definitely deserve that payout. These guys damn near went in and killed themselves. They put it all on the line. And I think them being off the card, the WrestleMania card, actually helped with this match, because they were moving like they had a point to prove. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was watching this match in bed, and when it first started, I was a little bit tired. I was also a little bit under the weather, so I was gonna kind of call it a night. And I was just peeping up at the TV every now and then, but it became, I was looking more frequent, and to the point where I was just sitting in bed watching this match. This match was phenomenal. That's how you draw a crowd in. That's how you go out, you earn your paycheck. Hopefully all these guys get something to do on next year's WrestleMania. And that was it. SmackDown goes off air. You have Zelina Vega, the new United States champion. You have the Street Profits, still tag team champions. Okay, so SmackDown is in the books. WrestleMania weekend is officially over. Thanks you guys for tuning in. I got a new setup. I got some new lighting, so hopefully you appreciate the visuals and the aesthetics a little bit more. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. We move forward, we push forward. I will see you guys on Tuesday for the Raw review. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and drink some water. Peace.